The island of Sodor is proud to be part of the United Kingdom. Because of this, they are ruled by none other than Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. However, there is also the governor of Sodor, who's in charge of the government on the island. He travels around with his private engine, Croven, who is named after a very powerful king of Sodor who prevented a Viking invasion. The governor rides in a special coach called Helen. Helen is very kind and friendly. However, Croven is not. He is perhaps one of the most arrogant engines on the island of Sodor. One day, he came into Knapford, boasting like usual. "Good morning, engines! Aren't I such a fabulous sight?" "God, not you!" "It is me! Aren't I a sight?"
"Yes, what a disturbing one!"
"Quiet, you wooden old cow!" "Good grief!" One day, Croven shunted Helen into the yard to get cleaned up. He left her there and pulled off to get to the washdown. Just as he left, Oliver came in with Toad. They went into the siding next to Helen to rest.
"Oh, hello there!"
Oh my goodness! It's the governor of Sodor's private coach.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
"Oh, just call me Helen."
I'm Oliver, and this is my brake van, Toad.
Oliver, Toad, and Helen all had a pleasant conversation as Helen was being cleaned up. Eventually, after the workman finished with her, Croven puffed in to collect her. He was very rude to Oliver and Toad. "What are you doing here, Mr. Great Western? Go, get yourself in that filthy brake van away from the governor's private coach."
"Don't you dare speak to them like that! They're very kind! Kinder than you!"
"Ha! But they're not as important as us. Come along, Helen. The governor is waiting."
Oh, I'd like to have the governor ride to me.
Croven burst out laughing. "You! An express coach would be indignified for the governor, let alone you! You are a dirty, rotten, smelly, pathetic brake van!"
How dare you insult my brake van?
"Insult? I'm pointing out a fact. A brake van is the only rank above trucks, the lowest status on the railway. What makes you think the man in charge of the whole island would want to be transported in a filthy old tool shed on wheels? Come along, Helen." Helen was too shocked to say anything. Croven puffed out of the station, still laughing.
Don't listen to him, Toad. No engine can get more nasty than him.
Oliver puffed away, feeling very cross. Toad, on the other hand, felt very bad. He was sad for the rest of the day. That evening, Oliver and Duck tried to cheer him up.
"He's full of hot air. No one likes him. He's a disgrace. You're a very useful brake van, Toad. Don't listen to him."
But Toad was still sad.
It's not bad. It's just I feel like need a change. I wish I could just have a nice surprise one day. One that doesn't run away from my train. Life is just so boring or frightening for a brake van. Croven was somewhere right.
Well, I don't think he's right at all. I'm sure friendly surprise will show up soon.
Exactly. Now, I'm taking some important visitors in Old Slow Coach this evening for an evening stroll. Would you like to come along?
Oh, yes, please.
Toad liked rolling along the coast that night. The fresh, salty air took his mind off of what Croven had said about him. When they arrived at Arlesborough, Toad felt very satisfied. The important visitors turned out to be associates of the governor and were surveying the small railway. The small controller was to be knighted by the Queen, and there was going to be a festival to celebrate this before he left England. The governor was to attend and make a speech congratulating the small controller's efforts to railway preservation.
My, this will be quite an occasion.
Yes, it will be!
I just wish I was the one taking the governor here, or passengers at least.
The governor only rides with that nasty engine, unfortunately.
Cheer up, Toad. I'll take you to the ceremony tomorrow, and you can, at least, watch the governor give his speech.
Well, I guess that's the least I could do.
The next day, Oliver, Duck, and Toad were all waiting to head towards Arlesborough. They had to wait till the governor's train had left.
Alright. When Croven comes, I suggest we all stay back. He's bound to throw some insults at us.
Duck's coaches were already in the platform, but Duck was in a siding so he wouldn't have any negative contact with Croven.
Oh dear, here comes trouble. If he says anything, just ignore him.
Croven didn't say anything. He was in a bad mood. He snorted into the station with Helen. Cameras flashed everywhere as the governor waved out of the window.
Why can't you come quietly, you wretched cooch? You kept blowing steam at me! I could hardly breathe!
Croven, this platform is for the passengers. We need to get into the siding over there. Croven was enraged.
The siding? The siding is for dirty trucks!
Croven was very cross. He snorted over to the points and yelled profanities. Everyone was shocked. Then Croven made a huge mistake.
You want to be in the siding? So be it! Ouch!
No one was hurt, but the governor of Sodor was enraged.
You stuck-up, blithering idiot! I've had it with you and your childish arrogance. I'll need another form of transport, which means I'll be late.
He looked around the yard, and then his eyes were fixed on Toad. Toad was very nervous, but the governor was smiling and came up to him.
Why, it's a Toad brake van. My dad was a guard who worked in one of these. He used to always let me ride in it. Oh, it brings back so many memories from my wonderful childhood.
We can get you another coach and engine, sir. The governor thought for a minute, then said something that shocked everyone.
You know what? No, I'll take a simpler way to travel. Mr. Brightvan and your Great Western engine, would you mind giving me a lift to Arlesborough?
Toad couldn't believe what he was hearing. Neither could Croven.
Right away, sir. Up on board. What? Sir, I must decline this ridiculous idea. I am the governor, and I have made my mind. Ha!
And with that, Oliver and Toad set off. The governor had a wonderful time. He was so excited that he kept pulling the brake lever on and off, which made the journey very difficult for Oliver. Toad, on the other hand, told the governor all about his escape from the scrapyard with Oliver and Douglas. The governor was fascinated and listened with his eyes wider than a child.
Me father said rolling stock always had the greatest stories.
Toad laughed as they puffed into Arlesborough. It was flooded with people. They were all shocked to see the governor of Sodor, the most important man on the island, riding in a shabby wooden brake van. Cameras flashed like mad, and when Oliver stopped, the police had to shoo everyone away from Toad.
This'll be front page on the newspaper. He'll be the luckiest brake van ever. Sir, might I ask why you aren't with your private train? Who to heck with private luxurious trains? A brake van is the way for a politician to travel.
After he had walked off, the news reporters started interviewing Toad. Toad was so overwhelmed that he didn't know which questions to answer first. When he and Oliver returned to Tidmouth, the governor thanked them, especially Toad.
You brought back my childhood memories. I thought I would never be able to ride in a brake van like my father's ever again. We'll definitely have to do this again.
I'm sure the Fat Controller could make some arrangements.
The governor then spoke severely to Croven.
If it happens again, then I know that a light blue sewage tank will be installed at the docks. In other words, quit the insults and arrogance, or you'll be stirring some nasty stuff in your boiler.
After hearing a statement like that, I think Croven will. Don't you? That night, Toad felt happier than he had ever felt in his life. He talked endlessly about his experience.
What did you think of all the fame you retrieved?
Toad laughed.
I enjoyed it very much, although it was a bit overwhelming with all those people crowding around me. Although I had a wonderful time, I think I'll just stick to being a happy break friend for now.
Didn't I tell you Friendly Surprise would show up soon?
Toad could only chuckle and went happily to sleep. He was a very happy brake van.